Hey guys, Dr. Ben here, Functional Medicine Centers. So excited to have you on board today. I'm going to get deep into how you can heal almost any health condition that you have. This is the basic premise of everything that we look at here at the Functional Medicine Centers, where we start getting to the underlying why. Why is the body going haywire? And that is what you have to do in order to change the state of your body's health. Whether that's you have a disease, whether you just want to optimize your health, it does not matter. These basic premises that I'm going to go over here is everything that we have to look at in order to get a good feel for what's out of balance and ultimately how that person's going to be able to heal from almost anything out there. This is whether somebody has MS, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, big autoimmune conditions, gut issues. We have 20-year-old kids that are coming in vomiting every day for a year straight. We've got 50-year-olds that are starting to lose their memory. We've got women with energy issues and thyroid issues and Hashimoto's and hormone issues and all of these different things. And we've got to get to the underlying why. And I'm going to show you today exactly how we do that, exactly how we get into that underlying why and what you need to start looking for in your life today that is going to be able to start helping you get your health back. So stick with me. This is going to be a little bit longer video. If you've got questions, pop those down below. Even if you're watching this later, we'll be answering those questions as we go. Also, put down below where you're watching from. We have people all over the country, all over the world. Love seeing where you guys are. We'll give you a shout out as well if I see those. And then also, like or share this post. Share it with as many people as you know out there that need this information, that need this inspiration, that need this ability to actually heal. So stick with us. We're going to get in depth today. So here we go. This is the basic thought process that's going through my mind when somebody comes in and I start thinking about what's it going to do to get them better. Hey Debbie, good to see you there in Texas. So whatever the symptoms are, it doesn't matter. We have to look at it this way. Hey Carla and Vale, good to see you. So here we go. The first thing that we are going to be talking about, and this isn't necessarily the order that you have to go through, but these are just some of the main issues that we're going through. All right, Carol, good to see you in Minnesota there. So the adrenal glands are going to be one of the large places that we need to look at. The adrenals are our stress glands. Adrenal, they sit on top of the kidneys. They respond to stress of all different kinds. They're going to respond to helping us get revved up for an event, help us to maintain that over a certain period of time. If we're in a fight or flight situation, if you're running from a mountain lion, if you're sword fighting somebody, if you're driving down the highway and you're going too fast and you see a police officer, all of those things are going to cause the adrenals to rev up. And here's what happened though. Our bodies were designed to be able to handle stressful events, be able to do it on a regular basis over and over and over again. And so that is the problem in today's day and age, is that these adrenal glands get so depleted because we're constantly on this fight or flight, going from 5:30 in the morning till 10:30 at night, whatever your life is doing, jobs and cars and kids and COVID and presidents and whatever you want to stress about, you've got stuff to stress about. Although we know that the number one reason why we have adrenal issues is actually blood sugar. And balancing out blood sugar is going to be one of the biggest things that you can do for your adrenal glands. So dealing with stress is very, very important. Hey Alexander, good to see you. Dealing with your stress is really, really important, but stabilizing your blood sugar is the number one thing. So some signs and symptoms of adrenal dysfunction that people have to wear sunglasses all the time because the light is too bright for them. If you go from squatting to standing fast and you get a little bit dizzy, that's another sign of adrenal dysfunction. If someone has frequent urination because the adrenals give tone to the kidneys, lots of different issues that we're looking for with those. Another big one is if you are having a hard time getting to sleep at night, that is usually your cortisol is too high. So that's an adrenal issue if those cortisol is too high. So then over here, we'll say blood sugar is our second thing that we need to look at when we're talking about getting somebody's body healthy. And it's not just high blood sugar. Most people think blood sugar is bad, high blood sugar, you got diabetes, prediabetes, all those things. But actually low blood sugar is just as detrimental to the body as high blood sugar. So what do you have to do? You've got to figure out why the blood sugar is going up too high, why it's going down too low. We started working with a guy last week. His hemoglobin A1C was 12.6. Hey, Gail, good to see you. Yeah, again, hey, no time like the present, right? And no judgment. If somebody's already done this, you know what to do. You can do it again. So blood sugar, his A1C was at 12.6. Anything over 5.7 is prediabetes. We started having him check his blood sugar, 300s, 412, 425, all over the place. This morning, in 1 week, he was already down to 95 for his fasting glucose. In 3 months, he may not even be diabetic anymore. It's amazing how fast the body can heal in there. So stabilizing the blood sugar, but the lows are just as damaging. The lows are going to rev up the adrenals. The lows, if you're having a hard time staying asleep, if you wake up in the middle of the night and your heart's racing and anything's going on like that, it's usually a low blood sugar issue. And then the adrenals kick in and they get revved up and your heart's racing and your mind's going and you're like, ooh, I'm thinking a lot. So anybody having blood sugar issues out there, give me a thumbs up if you're having any of the crashes. So if you can't go 2, 3, 4 hours without eating or snacking, you're having blood sugar imbalances. If you're a little bit overweight, if you're insulin resistant, if your triglycerides are too high, if you've been told you have fatty liver, if your iron is high, those are all indication that your blood sugar is jacked, and you've got to take advantage of the blood sugar monitor, the glucose monitor, and see why that blood sugar is going up too high and down too low. And then we get into stomach. There's actually 3 parts to the digestive tract that we look at and we have to take into consideration when we're getting people their health back. And so what do? Stomach is the first part. That's up here. Your stomach is right under your diaphragm. That's going to be where a lot of the digestion takes place that needs acid. So we have stomach acid in there, and that's why some people get reflux, because that acid actually goes up through that little sphincter and goes into our esophagus, and we get burning in there, some of those issues. But why would somebody have stomach acid issues? Well, here we go. As we're under stress and as we age, our body produces less stomach acid, so we're not producing enough stomach acid. Hey Hilda, good to see you. Let me know which one of these you think you need to work on as we go through there. So stomach acid, if you've got too little stomach acid because of stress and because of aging, you're not going to break things down as well. So it's going to sit in your stomach too long. It's going to start to ferment, putrefy once it gets lower down in the digestive tract. And so it's going to push up on that sphincter. So usually if somebody has reflux, indigestion, anything like that, it is because they have too little stomach acid, not too much. That's why we've got to get people out of their fight or flight, because you can go fight or flight or resting and digesting, but you can't do both at the same time. So if someone's chronically in a fight or flight, they're not going to be producing enough stomach acid, they're not going to be producing enough enzymes, and they're going to have this underlying imbalance here. So stomach, we need to potentially raise up the stomach acid, and very few people actually need to lower their stomach acid. Most people, it is usually more of a stomach acid issue. And even if you've taken betaine hydrochloride, hydrochloric acid as an enzyme, you still have to figure out the why, because just taking that is not going to fix the underlying reason. So stomach is the first place. Then we look at the small intestine. Small intestine, food goes from the stomach to the small intestine. The small intestine is where we're absorbing. Hey, Lisa, great to see you up there. Hope you guys got some good snow. Small intestine is going to be where we're going to be absorbing most of our nutrients. It kicks out some enzymes from the pancreas into the small intestine, but it's where most of the absorption is taking place. That absorption is going to be that barrier system when we talk about leaky gut. So leaky gut takes place in the small intestine, and that lining is irritated. So what do we have to do? We've got to rebuild and repair that small intestine lining, and that's going to be a huge part for anybody that has autoimmune conditions, that has inflammatory processes. We have to get the body to repair that small intestine lining, and there's specific nutrients, glutamine, marshmallow root, aloe vera juice, a lot of different things can actually repair that, but you've also got to get rid of the bad, what is causing the damage in the first place. Large intestine is another thing that we have to look at. The large intestine is the next one that goes up, over, and down in that digestive tract, and that's going to be where we're absorbing our water out of the food. It's also going to be where most of our good and bad bacteria are going to be. So we always have bad stuff inside of us. We've always got bad bacteria and yeast and parasites, different things like that. But if you've got enough good stuff, then you're going to be able to prevent the bad stuff from getting out of balance. But because people are on antibiotics, even most kids that I see, or even adults, and when they were kids, they were on 8, 10, 15 different antibiotics by the time they were 10 years old. Every time you do that, you're killing off and damaging more in that gut lining. So large intestine going to be a huge part of rebuilding this immune system is in there. We know that a lot of weight is in there. So fat-soluble vitamins are in our large intestine. It's not just about taking a probiotic. Most of the time the bad stuff is up here, and just taking a probiotic is not enough. We have to knock down the bad stuff and build up the good stuff. So this is a huge part of getting our immune system balanced out and getting that body weight where it needs to be. That large intestine and getting that microbiome balanced out is a huge, huge part of it. Then we get into everyone's favorite, right? The thyroid gland. Well, the thyroid sits in the throat here, and very prevalent, especially in women. Over 20 million people in the U.S. are on thyroid medication, meaning it's rampant. It's very prevalent, and there's a lot of people that should be on medication that aren't. But get this, over 80% of the people that have low thyroid actually have what's called Hashimoto's. And give me a thumbs up if you guys have heard of Hashimoto's, or if you have Hashimoto's, and you can pop that even down in the comments. Any questions you have on the thyroid, go ahead and pop those down below. I will be answering those. So Hashimoto's is autoimmune thyroid. So most people, if they have a thyroid issue, it's an autoimmune disease. There's some thumbs there. Yeah, we know a lot of you guys have heard this. And actually there's two types of Hashimoto's antibodies. It's not just attacking the thyroid. The second part attacks the bus that transports thyroid tissue around the body. So we not only have to know if we have Hashimoto's, but we have to know what type of Hashimoto's that we have. Hey, Sandy, good to see you there. Got Hashi's. Check out some of my other videos. We've got a lot of information on Hashimoto's, on autoimmune, how to calm that down. So for the vast majority of people that have thyroid issues, it's actually an autoimmune condition. So we've got to calm down that autoimmune reaction. And if you have Hashimoto's, there's a very good chance, and over half the people that have one autoimmune condition, they have multiple autoimmune conditions. So you've got to be able to figure out what that is, where it is. In our routine panel, we run this all the time. We run those Hashimoto's markers. So you've got to know, if you've got a thyroid issue, you've got to know whether it's Hashimoto's or not. So that's a huge, huge part of it. So thyroid, low thyroid symptoms are going to be cold easily, hair falling out, can't lose weight, slow digestion, sluggish, things like that. High thyroid, which some people do get, is going to be a little bit more racing heart, can be their eyes are actually bugging out of their head a little bit, they feel jittery, they're just got this inner trembling inside of them. So thyroid, very prevalent. We've got to figure out what's going on in through there as well. We have to look at the liver and figure out what is going on with the liver. The liver is our detoxification organ, and it's huge for hormones. It's huge for toxins coming into the body. We've got to figure that out. But get this. Probably half of the patients that we see lately, they have what we call fatty liver, either prevalent or very, very close to being there. And this means that their blood sugar is bouncing all over the place. Very few percent, it's actually from alcohol, but the vast majority of people, if you've been told you have fatty liver, it's a blood sugar issue, and that can be reversed in a matter of a couple months. It's amazing how fast that liver can regenerate itself. So there's specific things that you can do to help with that liver, but we've got to go through each one of these systems, whatever somebody has out of balance. Then we need to look at hormones, and we need to figure out what is going on with someone's hormones. We look at adrenal hormones, we look at male and female hormones, testosterone, estrogens, progesterone, and you've got to figure out why those are low. You can't just go inject some hormones into somebody or slather them on and expect that to fix the underlying why. We've got to dig deep. Especially a lot of women are being told nowadays that they should be taking testosterone, that they should go get this pellet because their friend did, they should take this cream, any of those things. But what we need to do is we need to figure out why that testosterone is low in the first place. Usually it's from the adrenals. One of the adrenal hormones actually converts into testosterone. So if we're adrenally depleted, we're not going to have enough testosterone. So just by taking that testosterone is not going to fix the underlying why. So this is, and I could keep drawing circles off here all day. We're going to just keep getting deeper infections, looking at environmental issues with, does somebody have mold or chemical exposures, things like that. But these are some of the big ones that we look through every single day with patients. And no matter what your symptoms are, no matter what your diagnosis is, no matter what your disease is, these things have to be addressed. And this is why this approach, this method that we do at the functional medicine centers is so important and so valuable for people, because it's not a cover-up, it's not a band-aid, it's not a, oh, here, take this herb and you're going to be fixed. It's a systematic approach where we work through the different systems, whatever is out of balance in somebody, and we go through step by step by step. And that's how you have to do it. There's unfortunately no amount of diet, no amount of supplements that are going to fix you. But for you, there's an individualized approach, and whatever you have going on, whatever is out of balance, that's what you need to work on. That's what you need to focus on. If you guys have any questions at all, pop those down below. Love answering those. I follow this throughout the day, so anytime you've got a question, just let me know. I'll put an answer up as soon as I get that. But this is a little bit what goes through my head when I start thinking about what is going on with somebody and what we need to do to get them well, is we've got to go through each and every one of these systems and get that working as well as it possibly can. So thanks for jumping on. I know this one was a little bit longer, but I just wanted to get deeper because a lot of people have been asking questions. What kind of blood work? What do you look at? All these different things. And this is basically in my mind as we go through this, and all of my doctors, all my metabolic coordinators, everybody that works with us and does this method is thinking this same thought process. So great to have you guys on the video today. Stay strong out there, and we will see you soon.